There is a yoga class that we hold here at Lotus Center on Monday evenings, and I'm a regular attendee of that evening class. And one of the students there, who is a very experienced yogini, very, very accomplished yoga practitioner, she's very deliberate about wrapping up. So kind of how, for those of you who haven't been to a yoga class, you kind of go through the different poses and the different positions, balancing and strengthening and so forth. And at the end, there is a pose that's called Shavasana. It's the final relaxation pose where you lie on your back. And this yogini who I'm referring to is very deliberate about wrapping up in blankets, kind of like no matter how warm or cold it is, she wraps up in blankets, and it kind of heavy blankets actually. And I asked her about it after class one time, and she reminded me that the purpose of Shavasana, that final resting pose, is to integrate the results of the practice into the body, kind of fully integrate the effects of the different poses, and wrapping the body up in blankets really facilitates that integration process. And so I started doing it myself after yoga class and getting benefits. And I thought, what if I did the same thing with my meditation practice? And I've been enjoying the results. I mean, for a long time, I've been, and we've talked about this, I think, I have, put a blanket over my lap and then put my hands underneath the blanket, but kind of doubling down on it, if you will, and sort of putting, like a blanket over my top as well as one in my lap, has been really, really beneficial for my practice. I've been surprised. There's something, I think, about the warmth and the weight of the blankets that tells the body that it's okay. It's okay to rest and relax and release. And because, as you know, the body and the mind, the body and consciousness are not separate, it also signals to the body that it's okay to relax and rest and release. So just kind of share that for you to practice at home, if you will. Give it a try, see if it works for you. Your domestic partner, if you have one, may look at you kind of strangely, like you're weird. Why are you bundling up when it's 85 degrees out? But don't pay any mind to them. The other consequence I've noticed is that my cat tends to come around and be more interested in meditating with me than she otherwise would be. But that's actually a perk for me. So why don't we go ahead and settle in for some meditation practice now? I'll provide some guidance. When you have settled into a comfortable meditation posture, using whichever method you find most effective, allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. And when you're ready, in your own time, please go ahead and transition into meditation on the inner body. there is a subtle part of the inner body that is known as the central channel. The central channel originates at a point in between your eyebrows, ascends to the crown of your head, and descends in a straight line down through the center of your body, terminating at a point in between your sit bones. Your central channel is straight, like the trunk of a plantain tree. It's about the width of a drinking straw. The walls of your central channel are pale blue and in color and are soft and supple, like the petals of a lotus flower. Energy winds, sometimes called prana, sometimes called chi, flow through your central channel. And by enabling these energy winds to travel throughout the length of your central channel, you can facilitate good emotional and physical health and facilitate healing. So with each inhalation through your nostrils, with each inhalation through your nostrils, I'd like you to please observe the sensation of air moving across the tips of your nostrils, and further observe prana moving fluidly and instantaneously down through your central channel, down to a place in between your sit bones. Observe that prana moving back up through your central channel, just as fluidly and instantaneously to the crown of your head, and then down to the point between your eyebrows. On the subsequent inhalation, allow the winds to move back up to the crown of your head and then down through your central channel. Please repeat this pattern for a few moments. On each inhalation, please allow the winds to travel down to the level of your navel, to your navel chakra. On the subsequent exhalation, allow your prana to travel up to the level of your throat, to your throat chakra. On the inhalation, back down to your navel chakra. And repeat this pattern for a few moments. with each inhalation down to a point about halfway between your navel chakra and the center of your chest. On the subsequent inhalation, up to a point about halfway between your throat chakra and the center of your chest. Subsequent inhalation back down to the point halfway between your heart chakra and your navel chakra. And repeat this pattern for a few moments. And finally, ever so gently, ever so gently, please allow your winds and your awareness to settle at the center of your chest, at the center of your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is the seat of your capacity for love and compassion. To tap into and experience this love and compassion, no doing is required on your part. Nothing needs to be added. All that is asked is for you to rest your awareness very gently at the center of your heart chakra. Rest, relax, and allow your innate capacity for pure, unconditional love and compassion to emerge. Now, very gently, please reactivate the movement of your prana. Please resume your practice of central channel yoga, allowing your winds to travel down to the level of your navel on the inhalation, up to your throat chakra on the exhalation. On the inhalation, down to the lower tip of your central channel. On the exhalation, all the way up fluidly and instantaneously to the upper tip of your central channel. Please deepen your breath. Become aware again of your physical body. Deeper and deeper breaths, and become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body. Become aware again of the surroundings inside the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky. We dedicate all of the merit. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings soon come to abide constantly in states of love, selflessness, wisdom, and compassion. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. So there it is. There's the complete practice of central channel yoga, allowing our winds to and our awareness to ultimately come to settle at the center of our heart chakra. Excuse me, just a minute. So you may be wondering, so tell me again why we're doing that practice. That practice, as I sort of indicated in the meditation, is to enable us to access and activate our true nature, at least our true conventional nature, which is that of love and compassion. And love and compassion are seated, the root of our innate capacity for infinite love and compassion That seat is at the center of our heart chakra. The reason that we're spending so much time on love and compassion, especially with this meditation, is because, as I said at the whole start of our discussion of the six perfections, that any practice, any Dharma activity that is not seated, that doesn't arise from a wish for others to be happy and or a wish for others to be free from their suffering. Those are the definitions of love and compassion. Any practice, no matter how so-called advanced it might be, or how basic it might be, air quotes around the words basic and advanced, we won't get any traction. We won't get any traction without that intention. There are other intentions, of course, that we can have, other meaningful, worthwhile intentions, like engaging in practice with the intention of reaching a state of selflessness, or expanding our humility, or expanding our generosity. These are totally valid, very meaningful intentions. And at the top of it all, at the top of the hierarchy of intention, if you will, are our wish for people to be happy, for others to be happy, for others to be free from suffering. And that's why we've been spending so much time on this, on these intentions vis-a-vis central channel yoga, and finally bringing our awareness to rest at the center of our heart chakra, thus allowing our love and compassion to open, to flower, if you will, to flower like a lotus flower. Now I see one of the meanings of the lotus metaphor. There are lots of them. You see, this practice of bringing our awareness to our heart chakra and then allowing it to rest there is the I won't call it the final meditation, but it's very, very important, because it's through this practice that we are able to access and allow to flower our love and compassion in a non-conceptual way. You see, I know you guys know, and I say it over and over, but it can't be said often enough. That is that the label love and the definition of love, wishing for another to be happy, is not love itself. It's not. They're conceptual vehicles that point toward love, but they're not love itself. The label compassion and the words a wish for another to be free from their suffering, that's the definition of compassion. That label and that definition are not compassion itself. Again, they point to it, but they're not it itself. They're, what does Eckhart Tolle call them? He calls them signposts. They're signposts that direct us toward, point toward, but they're not the thing itself. Labels and definitions are important because they can enable buy-in by the thinking mind. If I've found through my experience, and many much more accomplished meditation masters than me, and I'm not calling myself a meditation master, accomplished or otherwise, all of them point to this difference between conceptual thought and non-conceptual awareness. And it's kind of the essence of the Mahamudra. For those of you that are familiar with the Mahamudra teachings, there needs to be buy-in by the conceptual thinking mind, because without that buy-in, the thinking mind will sort of obstruct or will co-opt our ability to really apply ourselves to a particular practice. So, for example, one of the teachings in the sutra as a means of cultivating love is to recognize the kindness of others, okay? To recognize the kindness of everyone around us and the fact that every single convenience that we enjoy in our lives comes from the kindness of others. Our ability to walk, our ability to speak, our ability to read, write, to have shelter, clothing, food, everything that we enjoy without exception comes through the kindness of others, because others have taught us how to do all these things: read, write, walk, talk. Other people, maybe there are some seamstresses and seamers, whatever the male version of seamstress is, who have made your own clothes. Maybe you have the wherewithal to build your own house. But for the majority of us, we have come to rely on others for that, for all those things and everything else, our food. So by recognizing the kindness of others, it will hopefully cultivate a feeling of appreciation within us, and that appreciation will hopefully give rise to love. Those are good words that describe a meaningful practice, but ultimately what that practice does, recognizing the kindness of others, facilitates buy-in by the thinking mind, which is absolutely necessary. And once there's buy-in by the thinking mind of the benefits of appreciation and gratitude giving rise to love, then we go to this practice of experiencing, like directly, without the need for conceptual models and labels and definitions. We experience love, we experience compassion by accessing it at its root, which is the central channel, the heart chakra in the middle of the central channel. It's through this practice that we come to experience and deepen our love directly, rather than conceptualizing about it through our thinking mind, which again is necessary for us to get to a point where we can let go enough to do this practice and have the experience. Wow, I covered about like maybe a quarter of what I wanted to in this and what I need to. But just the one thing that I want to say before we go, the last thing I want to add to this is that this practice of central channel yoga is so subtle. It is so subtle and so delicate. There is a phenomenon, an experience called lung, L-U-N-G. It's a Tibetan word. We Westerners would call it lung. Lung is pronounced lung, wind disease, lung. And it comes through grasping, trying to grasp too tightly at our object of meditation. And it manifests in the form of physical pain. It's a real thing. I've experienced it. There's like a constriction or a tightness that will come if we push or grasp too hard at this meditation. Sometimes at the level of the navel, sometimes at the throat, sometimes in the head, most often at the center of the chest. That's why it's really, really important to, when you practice this on your own, to do it gently, super, super gently. Don't grasp at an outcome. Don't grasp at effects. Just rest and allow. Rest and allow. That's the most important thing you can do, or the most important feature of your practice of central channel yoga is to rest and allow. And thus you will keep yourself, hopefully, from experiencing wind disease, also known as lung. Okay, you guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. See, the practice is already working. I can't help myself but to tell you that I love you. So have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I hope to see you on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
You're most welcome.